Hello and welcome. I'm Mashur Anam. Welcome to our first preview of the 2020 energy cycle, the new decade, and especially the metal rat feng shui. So we have started multiple energetic cycles. One is the new decade, and it is not a natural cycle, but the decade is a collective cycle. So more than 7 billion people on the planet are holding the energies of the new decade or focusing on the new decade. And, we have seen companies and organizations, even countries talk about decades, and, we emphasize on decades, what happened in the 50s, 60s, 30s, 80s, 90s, 2010s. So now we're going to be looking at 2020s. So when we together create this energetic cycle of the new decade, and it is a group consciousness. It's also scientifically sometimes referred to as the morphogenic field. Some scientists talk about them, some biologists talk about them. So, that's one of the cycles we have entered. And then we have also entered a brand new 12-year feng shui cycle. It's starting with year one, a year of the rat, and it also works with the 5 elements. So this year is the year of the metal rat. 2020 and 2021 are metal years. We also have Earth's primary influencing element change this year from earth element to metal element. So that's why we have entered multiple cycles, the element cycle, the feng shui cycle, the new decade cycle. And there are other cycles we will be entering later this year or over the next few years. So I wanted to give you a brief information today about some of the concepts in feng shui, and I will keep it brief because then I will have some follow-up previews also about the different aspects of feng shui. So today is going to be pretty much an outline, and if you have questions, you can email support@lifeharmonize.com if you don't get a chance to. If we don't get a chance to talk about that today. Okay, so energetically, 2020 gives you the options to create, or brings the options for new beginnings. It brings you the energies of prosperity, opportunities, and especially renewing your life's mission and focusing on or enhancing your vision. So whatever you knew so far, and I know it's a tricky concept sometimes for all of us, but here's the thing. As we have entered a new decade, think about this. You are starting a new job or a new business. Or if you're an actor, think about yourself an actor for a minute. You're starting a new movie. You cannot get caught up in the old movie or the old script or the old job or the old business, because then you are constantly redirecting your focus toward what happened in the past. So this year, and especially this decade, supports the energies of the new beginning. So that means you want to focus on resolving what happened in the past. Not just for your career, but for your business, for your relationship, for your health and wellness, for recreation, for personal growth, spiritual growth, anything that's a priority for you. Things that did not work out, no need to hold on to any grudges, or no need to tune into those energies anymore, because then you will invite them back into this cycle for yourself. Let's not do that. So we need to let those go and really focus on this brand new cycle. Just take this year as a new opportunity year, a new job year, maybe a new internship year, or a learning new skill year. So you are going through this year focusing on a new beginning. How would you like to design your life now? What would you like to do in an ideal situation? Start thinking in a creative way. So that's the energy for this year. When we can constantly focus on success, prosperity, abundance, and creativity, and also healing and enhanced relationships and other things that are important to you. So when we can constantly focus on those, you will direct those energies for yourself in this decade, in this new cycle, and you will set the tone for this new decade and the new energetic cycles. So that is really important. Okay, so make sure that you have some daily practice. It could be 5 minutes, it could be 3 minutes multiple times a day, it could be 10 minutes. If you have a meditation practice, then include something in your meditation. Use some of the holographic tools like restoring their abundance, liquid luck, restoring their magic, unlocking their joy. Mix and match. Bring in some cosmic energies. Run a vortex of abundance, or a vortex of luck, a vortex of prosperity, a vortex of love, a vortex of healing. Think about bringing in those energies and just running them for you, even if it's for 3 to 5 minutes a day. Okay, so you can do it multiple times throughout the day, or just at least once a day. So it is important that you do that, because then you will start to resonate vibrationally with the new energies of the new cycle. And it will empower you a lot to create more success, abundance, prosperity in this decade, in this new cycle, for moving forward. Okay. So your action steps need to set or need to indicate to the collective consciousness, to the universal consciousness, that yes, you are ready to let everything of the past go and create this new decade and the new cycle in a way that empowers you, in a way that empowers your alignment, so that you can move more towards your higher consciousness and your vision alignment. And you can take steps to do things that actually makes you happier and vibrationally resonate with you more, instead of doing things that simply do not resonate with you. Okay, so this decade brings in the energies to make that switch, and it doesn't have to be an overnight switch. It could be a gradual switch, but let's make sure that you start to focus on those things. What are the things that make you happy and joyful? In an ideal world, what would you like to do? Think about career, business, relationship, health and wellness, traveling, everything that's important to you. So bring in those energies, tune into those energies, and keep running a vortex of those energies through you. Okay, so that will be very powerful for you to, for your moving forward in this new year and this new decade. So let's talk about the Feng Shui energetic cycle. Unlike the Western years, the Chinese New Year and the Feng Shui cycle that you see, it's more of an energetic cycle. It has to do with the flow of information and elements on the planet. So it's a global cycle, and then it's also a smaller cycle, like for your property, for your home, for your office, for your business. How do the energies move in a geometric way? So that's about the Feng Shui cycle. How do the energies move through the collective consciousness of a group or a country in a geometric way? Now that's a larger Feng Shui cycle for a group, for a country, for the planet. All of that is connected. So Feng Shui is not about moving furniture around. That's having, decorating your space with the right colors, and that's why the furniture option people talk about. So the color, shapes, objects. Now that's only 10% of space feng shui. There's a lot more to it. Feng shui is actually an ancient system of art and science for creating or attracting and then a success, abundance, prosperity, career enhancement, relationship, and personal growth, business growth, spiritual alignment, all of that by creating harmony through your environment. So you program your space, meaning your home or office or business or factory or farmland. So you program your space, convert that into almost like a software, have the energy flow in a way that empowers you. That's about feng shui. So the calculations of feng shui is very detailed, and it's very specific to how information flows through a space. So, I know a lot of times when people think about feng shui, they think about moving furniture or some decoration. All of that is part of it, but it's a much bigger system than that. It's a more holistic system to create environmental harmony so that your space is programmed to empower you so that you can focus more on success, creativity, and creating abundance, and taking advantage of possibilities, and attracting vibrant health and more. So it's a system that empowers you to do all of that. So that's why it's important, and that's why the system has lasted for many thousands of years, more than 5,000 years. And here's the other interesting thing, though. Even though we connect feng shui with Chinese system, it originated in the ancient China, but there are similar systems similar ancient systems, in other parts of the world, in India, in South America, in parts of Europe, because those who understand feng shui, like a lot of the feng shui masters, they have seen similar practices for of the cycles in many different parts of the world, especially in places of power, royal palaces, and administrative areas of different ancient civilizations. They have noticed how things were designed, followed some sort of a process of feng shui so that information can flow in a certain way, and people were empowered. People meaning, in that case, the castle or the ruling people or the people in power, they had the advantage. So feng shui setup now can empower anybody and everybody. It's for businesses, it's for companies, it's for individuals. I started setting up traditional feng shui many years ago because I'm sensitive to the flow of energy information, and gradually then I moved away from the traditional setup because it was just too much work for me. And I also used to follow a monthly flying star cycle, which I don't really talk about, but I noticed that if I didn't do that using the traditional models, then I would still notice some disturbance in the space. So that's why I wanted to see the information. I wanted to see the codes. I wanted to see the geometry, the structure, the flow, and everything. And then gradually I developed holographic feng shui. I think about 11, 12 years ago, the very first version of the feng shui was developed around that time. And each year I enhance it. So for this year, when we talk about Feng Shui, and especially I talk about holographic Feng Shui more because then you don't have to repaint anything. You don't have to redecorate your home, office, business, change the front door, do all kinds of things, buy all kinds of things, items and crystals and other things that are mentioned in Feng Shui. And it's a great system, but it's a lot of work. So I look at how to apply math and algorithm and information into a space to create the same flow and then to enhance it so that it doesn't matter how your layout is, you can still receive all the benefits. Traditional model talks about more like a square type environment or a space where the movement of energy information would be most ideal. But in today's world, homes are not built like squares. And then you have all kinds of shapes and sizes. So with holographic Feng Shui, a space can be programmed. What actually happens is your property becomes almost like a computer where a software for space Feng Shui is added, a software for time Feng Shui is added, a software for directions and colors and Kua number, that's a part of the Feng Shui cycle. All of those are added. Empowering elements are energized for you. It's, if you can imagine, all the traditional setup is in your space, but in a phase shift. So they're more on a different plane where, they don't have to be on a physical level. That's kind of like holographic Feng Shui. Even though it's a lot more than traditional setup, it's bringing in a lot of geometric vibration and symbolisms. So all of those are present without you having to do any extra work. And everything is set up remotely. You send your pictures, pictures of your homes or properties, and then things are set up. And then one of our Feng Shui consultants will do a before and after measurements, and you get an Excel spreadsheet with all the information. Okay. So in the space Feng Shui sets up a lot of different things, and then the time Feng Shui, the yearly time Feng Shui is more about the Chinese New Year system, where you may have seen a different type of numbers to represent that. So let me actually show you a little bit of information so that it actually helps you to understand. Let's share my screen. Okay, so that's basically a space Feng Shui, or a part of space Feng Shui. The idea behind it is so that you see east, west, north, south. You look at where your front door is, and then you bring in the information and energies of east, west, north, south, and the different directions into your space. Okay, so for example, south represents red, fame, fire colors, anything that represents those colors or shapes could be placed in the south to energize or activate those areas. North represents water, represents career, represents blue or darker blue. So you can bring in those colors or shapes or information to energize the north part of your home, office, or business. And water has a wavy structure, so anything wavy would represent water. So in a traditional model, you would bring in all those objects or shapes or colors or geometry into your space to activate these areas, to have the energies flow in a geometric way, in an empowering way, to energize you and your space. Okay, so that's the traditional model. And with the holographic feng shui, what happens is, all these colors and shapes and geometry and symbols and other things that come with it, they become a part of your property, and they influence your property. It's almost like, you set up a plate for your home, and the foundation has all these calculations. So there's a lot more to space feng shui than some of these, like the different type of stress lines, different types of vortex energies, and then temple lines and empty lines. Temple lines prevent marriages or relationships. That's why it's called a temple line, because in the old days, temples and churches and many religious institutions or organizations used to be placed facing those temple lines. So this is one of the things that traditional feng shui doesn't really have a good solution for. So if your home is facing a temple line, or your bedroom is facing a temple line, then a lot of the feng shui masters in the past would ask you to move to avoid these energies. With the holographic feng shui, you can enter reprogramming or a recalculation into that space to neutralize those energies. So that's why I like it, because you don't have to do all the work, but you can reprogram your space. Okay, so that's a very brief idea about space feng shui. When you have the holograms set up for space feng shui, means your business or home or property is set up with all that information into your space, even though you don't see them. So if you needed a flowing water energy, like a water fountain, at a particular spot of your property, home, or business for more abundance and success, and maybe you can't place it there. That's where the traditional model had a lot of issues, where people could not follow all the things, because you can't just put a water fountain anywhere, right? What if your front door was there? With the holographic feng shui, the energy, the equations, the codes, the symbolism that represent the water fountain, the flowing water, would be in your space. So your space would have all the information it needs. So feng shui is kind of like nutrition for your property. The way you eat different colors every day, you give yourself different nutrition every day. Your home needs different types of nutrition in different parts of your home or property or business. Like your different organs in your body need different type of energy, need different type of food. They benefit from different colors and different nutritions. So you're bringing in all that into your environment. Yeah, so you're functioning your environment. That means you're giving your home or office or business nutrition it needs, so that it can support you. Okay. Now let me actually show you a little bit about the flying stars. That's another concept of feng shui. And let me share my screen so you can see it. There you go. And this is the flying star. The numbers change each year, and it changes in a geometric way. Again, who knows how thousands of years ago, all the feng shui masters and scientists at the time, they calculated all the flow, influence of elements, influence of energy, in a space, for then the directions, the magnetic alignment, wouldn't know. but they have done the calculation. So, we are grateful. So last year, there was 8 at the center. 8 moved here. This year there's 7 at the center. So the way it goes is you just follow the numbers. 7, 8, 9, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So it goes, the information flows in a particular order, and the flying stars, follow those orders. There are, these are just called flying stars. There are some that are empowering. They're called positive flying stars, like 1, 6, 4, and 8. And there are some that are known to cause issues, or they're called negative flying stars. Those are 2, 3, 5, 7, and 9 is seen as a multiplier. So depending on what's there, it multiplies. Okay. And if you look at the colors, then they represent those elements. Okay. So 1 is blue. That means it's water element. Okay. This flying star is connected to water element. 2 is connected to earth element. Okay. So by looking at the chart, you can actually see that information, and it makes more sense. You activate 1, 4, 6, and 8, and you neutralize or harmonize 2, 3, 5, and 7. So notice what's in these areas, when it comes to your home or office or business or factory. Where is your front door? Where is your bedroom? Where is your office? Think about those. What energies are automatically there and brought in by the flying stars this year? Think about that. So you want to neutralize or harmonize the ones that are not empowering or beneficial. The traditional model actually has scarier names for the non-beneficial flying stars. These are more, they're more like, toned down, because I don't like some of the scary terms that they use. But so here's the idea, though. You activate these, the ones that are beneficial, 1, 6, 4, 8. If they're in 4 corners of your home, then you energize the 4 corners, and you harmonize or neutralize the influence of these other ones. And just notice what's here. If your home is in period 8, that means you moved into your home between sometime on 2004 or after 2004, then your home belongs to period 8. We are in period 8. That's a 20-year feng shui cycle. The way this is a 1-year feng shui cycle, periods are 20-year feng shui cycle. And this year, for this period, 8 is at the center. So, for that reason, when you look at the flying stars, you can notice what's in different parts of your property, and you either harmonize or activate it. Okay. And when you're setting up holographic feng shui, then this is done for you. The geometry, the shapes, the colors, the vibration, the calculations that represent the empowering flying stars are brought in those areas, and the ones that need to be harmonized or neutralized, those energies, calculations, information are brought into your space as well, so they are harmonized or neutralized. Okay. Number 5 and number 7 are the 2 flying stars that are seen as causing a lot of issues and disturbance. And if you actually look at the events of the beginning of this year, you notice that uh, where the 7 star is, that's why we had some issues, because the U.S. as Iran started, there was this violence that was escalating, and 7 star this year falls on Iran and some of the other surrounding countries in the Middle East and Africa. Then, when you look at the East, 5 falls on China and some of the surrounding areas. So, it doesn't mean that flying stars are good or bad. It's just different types of energy that we need to be aware of, so we can heal what needs healing, we can energize what needs energizing, and we can focus on bringing in the information that would help us create more success, abundance, and prosperity. Okay. All right. So that's mainly what I wanted to talk about today. I will do some additional sessions to go more deeper into the Kua Feng Shui and how that works, the colors, how they work, then more into some of the other aspects of Feng Shui. So I will do those later over the next couple of months or so. So stay tuned. And if you have questions about holographic feng shui, or setting it up for your property, then feel free to reach out to support@lifeharmonized.com. Once you place your feng shui order, there are residential orders and business orders. Just follow those, and they are based on sizes. So once you pick the size, and for your home or office or business or factory, then you can place your order, and then you'll be taken to a page where you'll be asked to upload some pictures, and it will also have some other questions. So you upload your pictures and answer the questions, and then you'll be in the queue. I will start setting up the feng shui for this year once the energies, the new metal rat energies anchor. So in about, I would say around the second week of February. So if you're already in the queue, then I will start to set up the feng shui, for holographic feng shui for your property in the order I have received them. Okay. So, okay, so that's great. I will open the line for questions at the end, but before that, let's do a quick journey and integration of the 2020 Feng Shui energetic cycle for you. So gently close your eyes, focus on your heart, and begin to breathe in and out. Let's bring up spiraling earth energies from the center of earth and allow those energies to come up through your lower chakras and your feet for grounding. And let's bring down the spiraling rays of the sun through your higher chakras and your crown. You are inside a vortex between the earth and the sun. Allow the energies to gradually get stronger for you, and notice your sensations. Let's focus on the brand new 2020 Feng Shui cycle. It brings in yang metal energies. Simply tune in, and I'll start to bring in the energetic waves this year and this Feng Shui cycle represents. Let's focus on success, abundance, creativity, enhancing relationships, receiving healing, and opening up to a stronger cosmic alignment. Let's also focus on running a gentle detox and a space clearing for your property. I'll bring in a cleansing vortex and allow it to gently spiral through your property. Let's breathe in and out, deeply and gently. Allow a vortex of success, abundance, and prosperity in all areas of your life to spiral through you. Let's breathe in and out, deeply and gently a few more times. Let's come back to your present moment. Rub your hands together and gently open your eyes. Welcome back. So it is really important this year that you take some time every day to focus on your priority so that you can direct the energies and information towards your ideas, goals, and vision for this decade and for this new Feng Shui cycle. So once you set the tone for it, then it flows more easily for you. So especially this year and especially over the next few months, do as much as you can to run the vortex energies, focusing on success, abundance, creativity. And those of you who have some of the holographic programs, run them, like Restoring Our Abundance, Liquid Luck, Restoring Our Magic, Unlocking Our Joy. Pick and choose, bring some star energies if you'd like. Just create a clockwise spinning, empowering, and creative vortex, and just keep running it through you as often as you can. Okay? All right, so thanks for joining. If you have questions about the holographic feng shui setup or anything, you can use the control panel to raise your hand. You can also post using that chat window. And if you'd like, you can also email support@lifeharmonize.com anytime. Okay, let's take a look. So, when it comes to health and wellness, there's a question about that in the chat window. Um, think about your, then you want to also notice the core number, directions, and the magnetic alignment. That's the direction part, the directional feng shui part. It's also part of the space feng shui. Which directions empower you when it comes to success, abundance, creativity, for your health and wellness, for your relationships, for your growth. So notice that, and notice what flying star may be in that particular sector of your property. Okay, and just take a look at that. Then do you need to activate something, or do you need to transform or heal or neutralize something based on which flying star is influencing the health and wellness sector, which is a part of the um, directional feng shui for you, your core number. Okay, so you can take a look at that. I will have the core guide for you soon, so then you can take a look at the brand new guides too and figure out what's beneficial for you. But in general, for health and wellness, you can keep running the Perfect Health and Fitness program. If you have done some of the journeys and meditations with the Healing Star Maya, you can bring in Maya's healing energies into you, into your bedroom when you sleep, and run some of these energies through you when you sleep. Okay. Um, So here's the thing with the traditional model, then there are, depending on what type of energy is there, besides the flying star, sometimes they may talk about, which area should not be disturbed, where you cannot dig or where you shouldn't play loud noise. With the feng shui holograms, bringing you the information, yeah, it's for your personal property. It's not for the outside of your property. Although I extend the field for a little bit so that it encloses your personal area. So the holographic feng shui brings in the information, but here's the thing though. Sometimes uh, a lot of people and a lot of feng shui stores scare others so much that saying that you must do this or you must buy this or you must replace this, otherwise all these things will happen. If you have any kind of fear around it, then do something to shift the energy and heal. But otherwise, I don't place anything extra unless I'm attracted to do something. Like I may think, oh, you know what? I get really attracted to place a particular picture. Like I have a lot of the star images on canvas, like this and different types of graphics. So I may get attracted to put something in certain areas. So if you get attracted to do that, certainly do that. But otherwise, it's okay as long as you don't have a fear-based response. Notice the energies, think about creating a good energetic relationship with those energies, with those type of stars, with those type of um, uh, mm, other aspects of feng shui that many talk about that I haven't really touched here. So think about bringing in healing for those areas, for those connections, for those beings, for those energies, so that you can create a more harmonious environment. Um, from Germain, you're talking about the beard in the east. How can you enhance the survival through the winter? That I'm not an expert on, beehives and what's needed in the winter or how the winter is in your area, what the bees need. I do send a lot of healing energies to the bees. Uh, as a company, Life Harmonized donates a portion of the proceedings for the oceans, for the bees, and for a number of different causes. Some are for development causes in different areas that are affected by hurricanes and earthquakes and other things. So I do connect with the bees a lot because they help to regenerate the planetary etheric grid, and bees are the only organisms that are constantly healing the planetary grid. So you can certainly bring in a lot of healing energies, bring in Maya's healing energies for the bees. But when it comes to the external condition and how the winter may influence. I guess you could do some research to find out a little bit more about that. Okay. But so sometimes, I'm asked like if the feng shui helps the animals. Yes, the animals notice the changes right away because they're more sensitive to the flow of energy information, and you can notice their behavior changing. I've heard that a lot, and a lot of times people tell me, like many of the participants from many different parts of the world, that they may be using their headset to listen to a journey, but the moment they start, the cat or the dog jumps on their lap, and the moment I'm done with the journey, bringing everybody back, then they leave. So that's I've heard that from so many of our community members. So animals do get influenced by the holographic feng shui. Okay. The recording will be posted on the Feng Shui page, so you can watch it again, or you can listen to the journey segment. Okay. All right, so I think that's pretty much it. I don't see any other questions or hand raised. So thank you for joining. Wishing you a lot of magic. And those of you, again, and those of you who have placed the feng shui setup order already, I will go through them in the order I have received them, starting in another maybe week to 10 days, depending on how the energy is anchoring. So once the new cycle anchors, that's when I start to set up. And even though when it comes to upgrading a property, even though I use the term upgrade, I actually set up all the new holograms and everything for every property every year. I use the term upgrade just for you because you're changing from one setup to another setup this year, but the setup is the same for a new or upgrade when it comes to what the steps that I take. Okay. All right, so if you have additional questions, you can email support@lifeharmonize.com. If your property is larger and it's not covered on the website, then just email support with your information and we will get back to you. Okay, so take care, have a magical rest of the day, and wishing you a very successful and empowering year of the Metal Rat.